My conversation with Eli Burton, the creator of the Adventures of Starman that you've probably seen on my show a few times, and the president of my Tesla Adventure Club, is coming up next, and we're gonna talk about the Model Y unveiling. He was there with me. It was a lot of fun, and we're gonna get his perspective on that. And of course, Starman was there. There's some proof. We're gonna talk about that as well. All of this is coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric!
Welcome to E4 Electric, the daily scoop about electric cars, and every day the scoops are getting bigger and bigger. So all you have to do really is to get served every day. Click on that subscribe button, that way you won't miss anything, and also become a part of this amazing community. All right, so Model Y unveiling, that was awesome, and me and Eli flew there actually together, and we enjoyed it in two different ways. You guys seen him on my show quite a few times. I love having him on because I feel like he's one of the most fun, and he's one of the true fans of Tesla, right? And he's not necessarily a fan of like a Tesla as a brand. I think he's a fan of a Tesla community, and that's why I really like it. And he's a perfect president for his My Tesla Adventure Club, which actually I'm going to yet another one in a couple of weeks, and there will be video about that as well. So the the conversation we're having is obviously right after the Model Y event about what his impression of it is. Excuse our background because this was like next morning right before I had to take my flight back to Sacramento. Just hanging out in my room and kind of talking. I think I have like my back was still hurting, so I'm barely sitting next to him. So just excuse the visuals of that. Of course, before we move forward with the interview, I just wanted to remind you that this video on this channel is sponsored by Accelerate Auto, the business car leasing for everyone in the United States, and this is the only way to lease the Tesla Model 3. If you own a business or if you work for the company that allows you to lease cars for yourself, definitely check them out. The link to their website where you can get a free quote is in the description of this video. Just make sure to let them know that Alex sent you, and they will definitely take a good care of you. All right, guys, without further ado, here's my conversation with Eli Burton of My Tesla Adventure. All right, so we both were at the unveiling last night. It's the next morning. We kind of slept on it, gathered our thoughts. What are yours?
So, I mean, the Model Y looked exactly like everybody thought it was going to. It was a slightly bigger Model 3, and I would say the coolest feature of the car was definitely the glass roof that they did. I love the visuals of what Tesla's done with the glass roof, and if you're in the back seat of the Model Y, it feels even more like a spaceship almost than the Model X does, and that's super cool. I'll tell you what, it's not as much bigger than the Model 3 as I was hoping. I was expecting it to be a substantially larger car. I'm still going to be placing my deposit down today once I determine whether I'm going to get the performance model or just the long-range all-wheel drive. But yeah, I was actually hoping it would be a litall bit bigger.
I thought it was just going to be Model 3 that's just with a higher roof. So I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Going home now. But all right, well, so you mentioned the Starship. There was a Starman at the event. Did you know that?
Yeah, so there was a special guest, a surprise guest in attendance last night, Starman. Starman actually showed up early and I think got in line at about 5:30. Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
That's pretty nice of him to, come back to Earth and hang out with us last night. And Elon actually referred to him a couple times during the presentation.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. When Elon first walked out on stage, he saw Starman standing there and was like, "Nice suit, man."
Great outfit.
And I think the Starman got more attention than really anybody. Maybe except for Elon for the entire night. All I saw the Starman do like take pictures and take pictures and take pictures all night, give interviews to local news stations. He was really like the star of the show.
Yeah, it was really cool. Even at one point, I saw the Associated Press come over and ask Starman what was going on and why he was there and what's behind this. Starman didn't really get to do much but take photos most of the night, but he seemed to really enjoy it.
I think so. What do you think his impressions are of the event? And looks like he was taking some pictures with a Roadster.
So I think that's what he was most impressed by, the excitement for the next gen Roadster. The first Roadster's gotten pretty beat up in space and doesn't have some of the tech that the next gen's going to have. So I think he was scoping out his next car.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the Adventures of Starman comic book, which has been out there for a while. Sponsor of the show for a few weeks or actually months. What have you heard about the next? I hear there's a next edition coming up. What have you heard about that?
Yeah, so that's correct. So episode 2 of the Adventures of Starman is called Big Oil Strikes Back. It's going to take a break from space for a moment, come back down to Earth, and kind of highlight.
Just like last night.
Just like last night, exactly. No, and I think there's a reason Starman came down of all times last night. And Big Oil Strikes
to check things out, book a hotel, and then just so for the future visit. I understand.
Yeah, no, you got it. And Big Oil Strikes Back, it's going to highlight what's happening. It's been happening, but what's still happening right now of the big oil and the forces around that who are trying to do everything they can to slow this EV movement down and squeeze every bit of profit they can out of their oil machine as long as possible. So we're going to highlight that and there's going to be some other cool things that's going to be revealed.
When is it going to be revealed? When can everybody start maybe getting their second version in their collection?
Yeah, so we're anticipating launching the Kickstarter for episode 2 within the next 2 weeks.
Very, very cool. All right, well, let's come back to Earth once again and talk a little bit about Tesla. Where do you think they stand now that they have the whole sexy lineup, right, with the Model Y unveiled? And, okay, I hear a lot of people, well, we're really disappointed, but I think that's because everyone's just spoiled. There was no other big surprise. But to me, it's actually a good thing. Like, this is an execution year rather than, surprise year. Where do you think they stand now?
And what I want to add too is the fact that it was a pretty normal unveiling event is fantastic because they also didn't overpromise on when they're going to ship these cars. It's not we're going to have these first cars out by the end of the year. It's going to be like what, a year and a half till these things are going to
year and a half, yeah.
Year and a half, and that's right. And that's probably what it's going to be. And maybe they'll actually come in a few weeks early and get to give some great news out. Like I think they set themselves up well. What was your question? I'm sorry.
It was about where Tesla, I know it's kind of vague, but where does Tesla stand now that the entire lineup is the entire sexy lineup is here and we know what everything looks like?
The real takeaway I got from last night's event, to me, it seemed less about the Model Y than a victory lap on them completing their 10-year mission. The way they rolled out the S, the way they rolled out the X, the way they rolled out the 3, the way they rolled out the Semi, the Roadster, and then the Y, it seemed to be, this is what we started at, a decade ago, and here we are, here's our lineup. Now it's going to be all about bringing these out globally, bringing down costs. I think there's going to be less exciting news that we're going to hear about Tesla because they've now created their products. I think there's going to only be one more unveiling maybe, which makes me really sad because these events are incredible experiences that I'm going to look back on fondly for the rest of my life. But once the pickup truck comes out, that's it. This is their lineup. Now their job is to just continue to innovate in these cars, continue to make them smarter, better, faster, and cheaper.
I was just thinking about that, and we were talking about it last night, that, one more event, really, if you think about a pickup truck, is the only thing that they left as far as, car line. I'm sure there's a Boring Company maybe event here and there, and a SpaceX, and maybe Supercharger V4, but for let's roll out a new car kind of event, this is the last one, and it's probably going to happen later this year. How do you think they're going to, where do you think they're going to get the PR and excitement past that?
I think that they're going to have to be a lot more clever when they start unveiling some of these cooler software features. I think the full self-driving, when that finally comes out, I think they need to do something spectacular with that. And I think there's some really cool things that you could, there's so many cool things you could do and so many cool places they could have that event. It's just going to be different because it's going to be much more about the unveiling of software features than hardware features, which is actually pretty emblematic of where we're at here in 2019, is hardware's kind of reached a point that it's all overly impressive. Now the software is going to start giving us really cool things that, and part of it might very well be we're going to all tune into a YouTube stream globally instead of coming to a physical event because Elon doesn't need to get on stage to show us a software feature.
And a few companies, including Polestar 2 unveiling was online. I guess you're right, because I'm thinking, Apple and NVIDIA and many others, do these big events when they just unveil, bikes.
Yeah.
So this could just be the future.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think the Apple analogy you just gave is perfect. That it'll be like, Apple does their big con thing, and when they unveil a new iOS, it's just an operating system. But I think Tesla will still do that, and I think they will still need to for a while, because unless you give the mainstream media a physical thing to attend and capture their own content, they're not going to distribute it. So I think they're going to still do those things. It's just going to be for software solutions instead of hardware anymore.
Last question. I mean, we were all hanging out there, yesterday all day. There was a YouTuber mixer, and we, obviously hanging out online for a while and afterwards. You've seen the crowd. A lot of people are now also YouTubers. I haven't seen so many new Tesla YouTubers. Obviously seen a lot of now established YouTubers. What are your thoughts about the kind of a YouTuber community and just the community in general that you saw last night?
So the turnout to the meetup was awesome. I actually got there on the later side, but there was over 150 people in the second story of this Tesla at this parking garage here in LA.
We weren't just hanging out in the parking lot. There was superchargers there.
Oh yeah, no, it's on the second story above the supercharger. We had there were so many people and so many cars. Security made us go to the second story because we were blocking too much traffic. Like, in fact, the police actually came and asked us why we didn't have a permit, and we're like, guys, this is just an unofficial meetup. Like, somebody just posted on social media and this happened. But what's really interesting is I get a lot of questions on social media about, now that the referral program's gone away, are people going to start making Tesla videos? My response was always no, because the people who are making this were fans of this already. But when I got to this meetup, I met dozens of YouTubers from around the globe who are really just getting started. Like, folks, there's actually more. You're gonna see more Tesla channels growing over the next 6 months to a year than you've ever seen before. And I think it's been pretty clear the referral program really isn't gonna have much of an impact on that.
Yeah,
People are excited about the cars. They're excited about the brand. They love what Elon Musk is doing. It's all that why they did that. The referral program was just kind of this little distraction.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the next time we're hanging out. I think it's going to be your event in a couple of weeks. Why don't you tell everybody about it? And I don't know even if it's already sold out, but tell us a little bit about it, and then I got to get on a plane.
Sounds good. Yeah, and there is like 8 tickets left. So if you're interested in attending, get your RSVP, get your ticket right away. So what our event is, it's on April 13th. Oh shoot! I gotta look at the date.
And just so you know, this is in Northern California. Well, no, it's actually in California. We're meeting up at one of the largest superchargers in Kettleman City, right? And then what happens after that?
Yeah, so
April 13th.
The event's gonna be on April 13th, and we're gonna meet up at the Kettleman City Supercharger, the Supercharging Lounge. We're gonna meet there at noon. Food trucks are gonna come. We're gonna all have lunch there. We're gonna fill up the supercharger to capacity, because that's a photo that Tesla.
There's no second floor there.
No, there is no second floor, but it's a Tesla. It's a Tesla base, so that's okay. Spaceship docking station is what I call it. But anyway, so we're gonna meet up there at noon. We're gonna spend a couple hours charging. We've got the Tesla photographer is gonna come out. He's gonna take photos of everybody in their cars. We're then gonna get on the road and caravan from Kettleman City down to Morro Bay. Everyone's going to get there. Most of us are going to check in to our hotels, and then at 5:15 we're going to get on a private sunset cruise where we're going to go have a 4-course dinner, gourmet chef, and cruise around Morro Bay and have a party together with our Tesla owners group. And it's going to be only members of this group, only attendees of this event will be on that boat. It's the reason why we can only sell 45 tickets for it, because that's literally all the boat can handle.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it myself. And
I didn't give them the website.
Go for it.
Yeah. So to check out the event, see the details, and if you want to book, go to teslatakeover.com.
Very simple. Well, we'll make another video, both of us actually. Okay, well, I got to catch a flight. This was fun. So I will see you in a couple of weeks when we're doing your thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.
All right, man. Absolutely. As always, pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, I don't know if you could tell, we're like exhausted by it, but excited. I always appreciate his view on things, right? He he's excited about Tesla, but I also have I always thought he has a very sober a view of it. And this time, I agree with pretty much everything he said. Also, I'm very excited to go on the the next adventure, as he calls it. And those are adventures. If you've seen my videos when that I do when I come along with him and his club, it's really amazing. And I gotta tell you, as much as I had a not such a good experience, for the lack of a better words, with the brand, I'm having the time of my life when I go to these events and see other excited Tesla owners that a lot of times are just electric car owners in general. They own other electric cars besides Tesla, so it's always great. If you guys are in California, definitely go to his website, teslatakeover.com, and sign up, and hopefully I will see you there next time. All right, other than that, I will see you guys next time as well over here on this channel. And just remember to stay charged.